All right, here's Jody. Hey, Jody, I see that you're there. Hey, girl, how are you? Can you hear me okay? I can't hear you, but I hope you can hear me. It's okay. It might just, oh, now it says you're connecting, so that's good. There. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm better now.
Good, good. I know I've had kind of a crazy day myself.
It's been awful.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So I think it's just gonna be you and I, but that's absolutely fine. I had somebody else that they might pop in. So I wanted to talk about brain health. And it's important, just as our body is important as far as that health, we have to keep our mind. And so a lot of the same things that we use to keep our bodies healthy, we need to keep our minds healthy. So we know that women live about 5 years longer than men, right? And so that means that in some sense, we women have more opportunities for dementia, Alzheimer's, because we do live a little bit longer, right? So, but some of that dementia, Alzheimer's, can be delayed or even somewhat prevented by some of the following things that we're going to discuss. So of course, it's the eating well, it's the exercising, it's making other healthy lifestyle changes like smoking, quitting smoking and all of that, because right. And so we want to increase the oxygen and blood flow to our brains. And when you smoker or you have hypertension or any of those things, the blood vessels are a little bit more constricted and smaller, and it's not really good for that. So, so we as women also need to be more cognizant, not that a man shouldn't, about brain health, because we do live longer, which means we tend to make some of those more like financial decisions in our life. And, and as you know, there are so many people that I hear of that are taken advantage of as they get older. And so we're not using our brains like we need to, and we're not seeing that those people are really trying to take advantage of us and not trying to be as nice as what they say they are. It happens to men too, but I'm just going to speak to women. But there are, and feel free to ask questions and join in. Okay. But there are 6 pillars of brain health, and there's probably more, but we're just going to talk about those. Of course, exercise regularly. Yep. It benefits the brain, and those that are least active physically decline, which means their brains aren't functioning either, because they're not using your cerebellum and all of the parts of your brain to be active. So it's the whole balance, it's the proprioception, it's, being able to look to each side of your room necessarily, out each, your eyes and stuff like that. And that just helps. It's kind of that, what I call your mind-body connection. So it's super, super important. And so then you're more at risk for dementia, Alzheimer's, all those kinds of things, and I was doing a little bit of research, and sometimes, if we go to the doctor as women and we complain about maybe losing our memory or fogginess or not being as sharp, they want to say, oh, it's menopause. Oh, it's just menopause. And it might not be.
True. That's true.
It could be something else. And so it's just really important for us to be aware of that. So all those benefits that I talk about, exercise increases the blood flow of the brain and obviously to all of our extremities and things like that. I mean, and you can walk, you can swim, you can play tennis, you can do all those, lift weights, but, and that as we do get older, you still want to continue to move, whether it's doing a lot more walking or pickleball or whatever it is that you really enjoy. Yeah.
Anything.
Yes, keep moving, right? Go up and down the steps. I don't care what it is, Another one, getting plenty of sleep, because as you know, we talk a lot about sleep because that's super important. But there are some theories out there that there are proteins in our brain and in our blood vessels and everything that float throughout our body that protect our brain and consolidate and keep our memories fresh. So that's really, really interesting to me. And it will, so obviously it improves our brain health. And it's really interesting because like, I can remember my dreams pretty long periods of time, but like my husband, he can have a dream and he's really a very poor sleeper and he doesn't remember. He knows he dreamt. So it's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's important to get, and the articles that I was reading, they're even pushing it to 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I like 7 just because I know for me that works really, really well. So, and it's not, they say fragmented sleep isn't good, but sometimes you just get what you get and you just have to take it. But naps and stuff are really important too. Not that you, it's not going to make up for the sleep that you didn't get, but it's going to also help your memory. So it's important to have that. Eating a clean diet. And I run a little bit more into this because some articles I read talked more about plant-based foods that are really good. Honestly, I think proteins are really super important and you can get protein from plant-based foods too. But red meat, eating a little bit less red meat than the normal American way. And we kind of do, I know I do. And I know with the Power Foods list, it's really not on there. But it's the big steaks and those types of pieces of meat.
About once a week I have beef and that's it.
And it's nice to have some red because you need the iron in it too.
I love a good.
Right. But of course, vegetables and fruits. Vegetables should make up more than even your fruits. Whole grains are good too. It's the refined grains, the processed, white pasta and white breads and all those kinds of things. But legumes are good. Starches like sweet potatoes, those are really excellent for that. And then again, those dark leafy green vegetables are super, super important. The spinach, the kale, and then even the cruciferous vegetables are really good for your brain health as well. Just not good for the bloating aspect. But that's why I like them. Like I think we're having cauliflower tonight and, but still those are good for you.
They are good.
You have to be aware of what it does.
Have you ever had the cauliflower rice?
Yeah.
I had that the other, very good.
Good. Yeah. You can do all kinds of things with that. You can make it into pizza crust. And do that kind of thing too.
This was just like a 90-second one that went in the microwave. Just
perfect.
Like the, I don't want to say Uncle Ben's, but that was the rice that just the bag, you smush it up, stick it in the microwave for 90 seconds. This was the same thing. I think I got it at Aldi's.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So,
and you could add stuff to it too, if you wanted to, I suppose. Yeah. So good. Onions, beets, pumpkin, carrots, all that kind of stuff. Fruits are good for you too. I mean, some people are scared of fruits because of the sugar, but it is natural sugar. But there are the low glycemic fruits like berries and cherries, apples, oranges, grapefruit, watermelon, all your melons and stuff like that. So, and then one thing too, and I know I talked about this in one of our talks, but about the importance of fiber. And getting at least 25 grams, if not more, of fiber. We talked about the soluble versus the insoluble, but obviously your fruits, your vegetables, all of those kinds of things will help with all of that. So we're eating all the good stuff that would be really good for our brain function as well. And then they're talking about alcohol and coffee in moderation is okay. Wine, that 1 or 2 glasses is good because of the antioxidants in it. But ultimately the best drink is water. We preach that all the time. Drink a lot of water. And the brain is made up of 80% of water. And then you look at the rest of your body. So you need to replenish that and then some.
I drink probably close to a gallon of water a day.
Oh yeah, I do too. And I love it, because if you don't have it, and you probably know this too, it's the fatigue, it's that's where the brain fog comes in and the tiredness and that you can't focus and your attention is kind of all over the place. And it does help a lot with that.
You've seen this?
Yeah.
You've seen these, the corksicle ones?
Yeah, I haven't used that one.
Okay, I got it on Amazon. That's a 25 ounce. I think it goes up to a 40, maybe even bigger. But so 4 of these a day, there's my 90 ounces.
Yeah.
I'm over, and then I end up having more.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Yeah.
pork.
Yeah.
So
That's
keeps it
nice.
cold or hot
Sure.
for a
I
long
haven't
period
done
of
the
time.
corks. I have a variety. We have more containers here for stuff. But yeah, I have a 40 ounce one, and I drink 3 of those a day. And then I know, like, I'm good to go.
Good to
So
go.
exactly. And you know what? They also say that if you're one of these people that don't drink enough water, your brain is going to actually shrink.
Yeah.
And so
Isn't
that can't be good.
Doesn't it help keep like a buffer?
It does, because you have fluid.
Yes.
And the more you have, because it's a protective device too, all
Yep.
along our spinal column and stuff too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just water is, people just don't give it enough credit, I swear to God. But also your omega fatty acids. So your omega 3s and your omega 6s, like in your salmons. And if you take the vitamin or the
Fish oil.
the fish oil at night or
Yep,
with a meal. Yep, I do too. That really is helpful. And it's not only helps with your brain, it is the cellular function of your brain, but all parts of your body too. But you know, it's going to decrease the risk of coronary artery disease, which of course has an effect on all your blood vessels. So that includes the brain. So yeah. So another one, so I wanted to focus a little bit more on, you know, nutrition is important for our bodies, but we can't forget about our brain health either. And I wanted to bring this up because, you know, we are at that menopausal age too, where everybody wants to blame menopause for everything. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have an effect, but there's things that we can do to not make it as big of an issue as that. And, but also to be aware of it, because if you are experiencing that and you are doing all the right things, maybe there is something else going on. So it's not just menopause, and people want to use that as an excuse or throw that into one bucket and all your symptoms and stuff is that, and that's the problem. And then move on. It might not be. Yeah.
No. Nope. Agreed.
Yes. And another thing that will affect brain health and is good is to stay mentally active. So it's the reading, it's, you know, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, just all those kinds of things are really good. Playing games with grandkids or kids. And yeah, a lot of reading is really good for that.
What I do all day at work is I read, plot maps, and
oh, sure.
So all day.
That's good.
Read deeds.
Yeah. So that keeps your brain mentally intact. And it's good for the Alzheimer's and the dementia and stuff like that. One thing they did mention too is, you know, you can get these paid memory games on your cell phones or your laptop and stuff, and they don't recommend them.
Really?
At all. Yeah. Because they say that your memory is going to improve and this and that, and it's not been proven to really do anything. It's more of a distraction. Now I do I'll play solitaire on my phone if I'm really bored, like sitting in a doctor's office, I'll be like, oh, this way. But I do love to read and learn, and I think that's helpful too. So and you know, just challenging your brain. Sometimes I don't want to challenge it, but it's good to do that. And don't watch too much TV.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. I think the only TV I watch is once in a while, my husband and I will sit down and we'll watch like a Netflix. We'll be doing a series or something. We'll watch a couple episodes and stuff, but we don't, I mean, I didn't watch the Olympics. I don't watch TV much. First of all, I'm busy, but
I haven't been lately, only because between work and, you know, well, we have talked about this. I'm up early in order to get all of, you know, get done what I need to get done. I'm up and out of the house at, you know, no later than 6 a.m.
Right.
So I'm out of bed at 30, and a lot of times I started kind of doing get my walk in, and then I try to do a workout in it at night because I sleep better that way.
Right.
So by the time I don't have a lot of time.
Right. Right. Yeah. And, you know, it's good to kind of chill out and relax and stuff. But, I mean, I know people who watch a lot of TV and And I
all
know
day.
during when businesses were shut down and stuff, I mean, that's kind of what we resorted to, because what else are you going to do? Because part of it was winter out. We couldn't really go and do anything outside. So yeah. But anyway, it's really just keeping that brain stimulated.
Yes.
And also remain socially involved. So go out with friends, supportive friends, family. What's
See,
that?
I said, what are those?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I live on an Indian reservation.
Right.
And it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game. So it's a really bizarre situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're very friendly, but it's also very cliquey. So just because they're friendly doesn't mean that they're your friends.
Sure. Sure.
And
right.
My kids are part native. Their dad was, is enrolled, my ex-husband. So, but I don't have a lot of friends, only because I learned over the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I spent this, that's why, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely be
and
careful.
Especially as a single woman, you do have to be somewhat careful of that. But yeah, you want to be associated with people that you can trust.
Yes.
And are considered friends. I know I have a lot of acquaintances and have had to go down a different path with those who say they're your friends, but they're really not. And, I'm an adult, I'm not a middle school child anymore. And I want to have adult type relationships and
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it's started to be a little bit more selective, I guess.
Sure. And that's okay.
I feel like something is not right about somebody, what's the saying, if I'm quiet around you, it's either because I'm trying to figure you out or I already figured you out and I don't like you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you have to be careful and you have to protect yourself too. And I think it's important to be socially active because it is good for you to experience different things. But again, you do have to be careful. Now, do you have family in the area that you?
Oh yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have, my siblings, we usually, like I said, we get together.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's good.
So I can't do that this week because on Thursday I am driving down to North Carolina to pick up my new car.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So, yeah.
Good for you.
So Friday you'll see that I might not get my steps in.
Yeah, right. If you're in the car, can't really, unless you're like, what's that? What was Flintstones? You have a car like that, but yeah. There is some research out there that says that solitary confinement. So if you're home alone and you're alone a lot, that's not real good for your brain health. What did I write down? It leads to brain atrophy. I couldn't think of the term. Yeah. Because you're not socializing and talking and learning about other people and having those conversations. But I mean, with your family and stuff, it's not like you're isolated. But you think about the single man whose wife passed away and he's living alone in his house and he doesn't have any family. Yeah. Yeah. Or the other way around where the woman is alone and But so those are a lot of the things that I wanted to cover. Obviously, no smoking, be really mindful of that. And you've already taken care of that. So that's good. Yep. Oh, stress will have an effect.
It's gotten better.
That's good. That's that cortisol, and that can cause premature aging, wrinkles, scowling all the time, that kind of stuff. And sleep and stay socially connected. Certain foods that aren't good for you do cross that blood-brain barrier. And one of those is like sugar. Yeah. Huge. And so the less sugar we have, the less inflammation. And that means brain inflammation too. Because you talk about the sugar high and people are bouncing off the wall, but then all of a sudden they just crash and they're listless and so you think about kids that are eating cotton candy at the fair and then you drive home with them and they're like out of it. not only are they tired, but they've had this sugar all day.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, some of the things I remember feeding my kids, I'm like, man, I wish I knew now or then what I know now, but
Yeah.
they're
You know
still
what
alive.
But yeah, what I'm finding through all of this whole
Yeah.
thing, it's not so much a sugar addiction now. At one point, years ago, I would have called it a sugar addiction for real. I
Sure.
wanted, if I'd get done with dinner and I wanted dessert, it was just this.
Yeah.
And I like that occasionally, but not like I used to. What I'm finding now is it's the salt.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the salt
Mhm.
that's what I crave,
Yeah, I like that too.
and dip,
Mhm.
scoops and salsa, just
Mhm.
it's salt in the
That's my
crunch.
thing. Mine's not
Yep.
sweets. I like sweets, but I don't crave them.
Yep.
Mine is tortilla chips.
Yes.
Just I could eat a whole bag with some guacamole,
Yep.
and or some salsa, but yeah, that's like my kryptonite, man. If I could, but it is salt. And a lot of women talk about the sweets, and there is some of that, but honestly, it's the salt for me too. And that's something you want to watch too, especially the iodine.
Yeah.
Salt and that. I use the Himalayan salt.
Yep. Me too.
And that's
That there's a Himalayan salt,
there's a what?
black Himalayan salt.
No.
They look like peppercorns, but let me tell you, that is unbelievable amounts of sodium in that.
Can't imagine. Yeah.
25% in a quarter of a teaspoon. It's like your entire day. I have a jar of it here and I'm like, yeah, no, I won't be using that. That's crazy.
Right. No, I didn't hear about that. I wonder how that's like manufactured or
I
obtained.
thought it was peppercorns.
Yeah, right.
And then when I got home and looked at it and realized it's not peppercorns.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it is. There it is. Himalayan black salt, it's called.
I'll have to check that out. Too salty. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would look like peppercorns.
Yeah.
You got a big jar too.
Yeah. A serving size is a quarter teaspoon and it is 570 milligrams of sodium,
Yeah.
quarter of a teaspoon. So I don't know. I think I'll give this to somebody I don't like.
Or it's one turn or something. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I'll have to look
at that. Whoa.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that a little bit. But so my big message today is really think about your brain health, and you guys are doing everything for your body, and it's going to affect your brain and make it healthy too, or keep it healthy. And that's important too for women. We do live longer than men, and we will have to, if we don't already, make financial decisions for ourselves. I know when I was not remarried, I was doing all that and balancing it, and I still do. It's not that I don't, but you have somebody to bounce stuff off of, or somebody to say, hey, this guy is saying this, or just like buying a new car or taking your car in to be fixed. You really have to know who to trust.
Absolutely.
So
the whole this car.
Yeah.
My father-in-law sent me a picture of the brand new Chrysler 300. Beautiful white, black trim, package. And he said, oh, and then the next day he goes, you're not going to believe what I just got in for detailing. It was a trade-in. It was a 2020 instead of a 2020 with 13,000 miles on it. Same exact car. He goes, this is a smoking deal. And with what they gave me on a trade, I don't think I'm spending 21,000 on a 1-year-old, a $40,000 car. I'm getting about $20,000. So that's why I'm driving to North Carolina.
I would too. And you know what? The lots are empty. Like there aren't any, like around here, like there's hardly any used cars. I have a real good friend who is car salesman, has been doing it for 20 years. And he says it's just like
brutal.
There isn't anything.
Yeah, it's brutal.
But
I make the financial decisions. I have my own home that it'll be paid off in a year and a half. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I have my Harley and that'll be paid off about the same time the house is paid for. So.
You'll be just a free woman out there.
I can't wait. I went to dinner with one of my friends, a girl that used to work for me, and she left, work closer to home. because she was driving an hour to work every day and then an hour home. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
we got to and had dinner last week, and she had said what she noticed most from when it's probably been about 6 months since I've seen her, 6 or 8 months, and she said what she noticed most was the genuine smile that I have now. That she could see that the difference in the stress level, that I just don't have the stress level that I had before.
Oh, that's so, and that you can see that on people, and
Yeah.
they look healthier and they are healthier. Wow, that's a great compliment.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So about her taking that goofy picture of me and posting it on Facebook, which
I love the facial expressions in your pictures too, by the way.
don't you love those? Like, it's Monday morning.
Here I am. Yep. Here's another one. Yeah. But you are really doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are.
I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm loving it. I love the challenge of trying to get my, my calories and my macros in line. I love okay, what can I do here? If, I'm a little over here, not enough here. What can I, I just love doing that. And I got to tell you, one of my most favoriteest things that I came across the other day by accident, pickled beets, which I love pickled, always have. There was a side dish. I ordered a broiled fish dinner the other night, and I said, no French fries, no potato, please. Can I have double of something else on the side? There's, so they kind of rattled off what they had. And I said, can I try the pickled beets with the crumbled goat cheese on it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is the best stuff ever.
Yeah. And goat cheese is good. Yeah. If you're going to have cheese, goat cheese or feta, and, not a ton, because that's very flavorful. You don't need a lot of either one. Yeah. Hope that I love
those
these.
together are amazing. I mean, I don't know what it is. It just is the sweetness of the pickled beets, it's that sweet sour, and then you add in that creamy,
yeah.
It is just unbelievable.
It sounds really good. Yeah. Now that honestly, yeah, I'll get fresh beets from like the farmer's market and stuff. I really like that. We used to do a lot of canning way back when my kids were little, but, and we'd pickle everything, pickle beans, pickle this, pickle, pickles, all of that. And, yeah, it makes me want to, like, some days it makes me want to have a garden. Other days, no.
A lot of work.
It is, especially fighting the mosquitoes. That's crazy. But yeah, so you're doing all the right things, for your body and as well as your brain. So keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully this was helpful. It wasn't anything like rocket science, but it's come up a lot about, I have this brain fog, and they want to say it's menopause and what's going on. And honestly, with a lot of the women like you guys that have just started, your bodies are acclimating and getting to that point where some of that should be going away, and feeling really good and energetic.
It is. People are noticing that I'm calmer.
Sure.
I refer to as I'm not quite as snappy as I work, especially because it's a high stress job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not handling my stress well. And that's when I knew I had to do something. I didn't know what, but I was just a bear.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose qualified people.
Sure.
Because I couldn't control myself.
Right.
So I had to do something.
So which is really important too, because it's hard for us to turn inward and look at ourselves and go, maybe I'm part of the problem.
I was.
Yeah. And it's okay to say that, right? But you're doing something about it. You're not doing anything. You're not making some changes. You're embracing it and going, hey, I can be a better person. Not only you're doing it for yourself, but that's going to wear off on other people, which is important. Right. Yeah.
And a huge difference. I mean, huge difference at home, with my daughter.
Good.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
So I'm much better.
Yeah. And when you're happy, everybody's happy.
That's right.
It's same here at this house. When I'm happy and everything's good.
Oh, hey, and good news, I lost 2 pounds this week.
Nice.
So up in my calories and stuff, just that little bit.
Mm-hmm. It does. And so we talk on Wednesday.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you, think about this as long as we're talking right now.
Okay.
Doing a little bit of calorie carb cycling, where higher calories, low, moderate, and doing a real high calorie carb one day a week on a workout day. Your low calorie, low carb days will be on days you're not working out. And then we'll do moderate.
Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Because I ask you about that.
Yeah. So we're going to do that because that's kind of, you're at a process, you're at a point that we can do that and you understand it enough to do that. Some people aren't quite there yet, and that's okay. They're still getting results, but this is just another way to push yourself, push your body a little bit more and seeing what it can do. And it's not like you're going to be there forever. You just do that for a period of time. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Good. Well, very good. Yes. You have a great rest of your night, and I'll be posting this, and we'll talk on Wednesday.
Sounds good.
Care. Yep. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yes, you too.